Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Today I will be reviewing the XR model, which is the top of the range model of the Toyota Corolla Cross. Now, two questions that I get asked most often about hybrid vehicles and about the Toyota Corolla Cross is how often do you charge it and how easy to drive? Watch this video to find out the answers to these two questions, and I'll also be providing you with a lot more insight on how hybrid vehicles work and also a lot more detail on the Toyota Corolla Cross. If you are new here, welcome to my channel. My name is Mohammed and I hope you enjoy this video. So guys, let's start with the exterior of the car. Have a look here at the front. The grille is really fancy. In fact, the XR model does have a bit of a fancier grille than the XS model. So if you look at the Toyota badge here, you'll see it's blue in color, and that indicates that it is a hybrid model. So if you have a look here at the bottom, it's got 18-inch wheels. On the XS model there's 17-inch. So on the XR you do get a bit more ground clearance. So to give you an indication of the ground clearance, I don't have a ruler here, but I'll just use this Energate bottle. You can see there it clears the bottle quite nicely. And if you are wondering, it's a tropical flavor. Okay, so let's come around the side. The Corolla Cross sign looks really nice there, and it's also edged in here in the brake lights. And if you come around the back, then you'll see it's got the, you can see it's the HR model hybrid, and again here you can see the, in case you missed it in front, you can see at the back Toyota Corolla Cross, the Corolla badge. It is blue, indicating the hybrid model. We are here at the back. Let's open the boot. So as you can see, it's really spacious inside. It's also got this rack on top here, which slots in quite nicely, and then you just move it up and you can see here that it's got the roof rails. Okay guys, now watch this here. Here is the key. I'm gonna lock the car and then put the key in my pocket and then see how I open it. So to open it, I don't need to press any button on the key. I just put my hand here and it unlocks. Then you'll see the side mirrors open up and you just open the car, and that's it. You don't need to take the key out of your pocket. Then you just get inside, you press a button and the car's on. So you've seen the exterior of the car, you've seen the exterior, how stunning it looks. It's got a blue badge to show that it's a hybrid model. You got a spacious boot, you got roof rails, you got LED lights, you got good ground clearance with 18-inch wheels. So far, based on the exterior, the car really looks great. It's got keyless entry, which is nice. So you definitely, by buying this car, you will not be cross. Even though it's called the Toyota Corolla Cross, but you won't be cross. Guys, let's start the car with the push of a button. So did you guys hear the engine start? Yeah, me too. I didn't hear anything because it starts with the battery, so it's absolutely silent. Before we take the car for a drive and speak more about, the drive performance and how does it feel to drive a hybrid car, let's answer the first question: how often do you charge it? You actually charge it. You don't charge it very often. In fact, you don't charge it at all, because it's a closed loop hybrid. So as you drive, the battery charges itself. The engine charges the battery. So you don't need to worry about charging it. So if you're worried about load shedding, you don't have to worry about it. So now let's take a look at the inside. Okay, so let's start with the infotainment system. It has a touchscreen infotainment system with Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, and if you look here, this is the home screen. So it does show you the battery and the engine. So if you want to get more detail, you can just click on here and then it will show you what's happening. So the electric motor is situated here. It shows you actually where it is on the car, and the battery is behind the back seat. The battery is situated under the back seat. So that's why when you do fold the back seats in a 60-40 split, there is a bit of a bump, so you don't have a completely flat load. You don't have a completely flat load space due to the battery being under the back seat. And here you can get the indication of how the battery is. And then if you go home, you can see there's no phone connected currently, so you can select a phone and you can add your phone, and it's got everything you need. The aircon, it has dual zone climate control. Yeah guys, the car is so silent, I forgot that it's on because I had to see if I could put the aircon on or not. So if you see here, it's dual zone climate control. So excuse the sound might go, but not so nice now. The clarity of the sound might deteriorate because the aircon is on, because I'm just showing you how it works. So there you can see it's automatic. You can control wherever you want the aircon to blow over here. And if you go further down, you've got a USB port here. There is space here for wireless charging. However, it is not standard. You can add it. And if you look down here, we've got different driving modes. So this is EV mode. If you put it in this mode, then it goes completely electric. And then these drive modes just They can just toggle between normal, eco and power mode. So in the XR model, it has 6 cup holders as opposed to the XS model, which has 4. So if you really do like cup holders, then the XR model is one to go for. Here's 2 in the front, in the middle section. There is 1 on the side in the passenger seat, and then on the driver's side over here there is another cup holder here. So that makes 2, 4, and then there's 2 at the back, 6. And then the armrest is quite nice because it stretches forward. So if you're not too comfortable sitting like this, you can move it forward, and it's very, very comfortable like this. But then if you do have it forward, you can't open it, so you just need to push it back, press this button, and then it opens. And if you look inside here, there's another 12 volt. Okay, so now I'm going to show you the back seat. And before we get inside, I mentioned to you there were 2 cup holders at the back. So you got your cup holder here and your door handle here. Let's go into the back seat. Okay, so here I'm in the back seat now. So it's not ground clearance, now we're talking about head clearance. So there's quite a bit of space. As I mentioned, I am not very tall, I'm 1.64, but there's a lot of space, so I'm sure 1.7, 1.8 you should be fine in the back seat. And also leg room, depending on how tall your driver is, you can see the leg room is quite nice. So if you look on this seat, I like the design of the back seats because it actually gives you better knee room. So look, it curves this way, it curves upwards, so you can get good knee room. So you do have the pocket on the passenger side, but it's not on this side. And then if you haven't noticed already, you'll see it's a fully leather interior. So the XR model comes standard in leather, the XS doesn't. I think you can add it there, but the XR does come standard in leather. So if you look here, the nice thing, if you have 3 kids sitting at the back, it's very nice that the middle passenger gets their own, like a proper 3-point harness. And let's see what's down here. Wow, another 2 cup holders. That's awesome. Okay guys, let's go for the drive now. And if you have watched my previous video, don't worry, I do now, I'm in the back seat now, so I'll go in the front before I drive. Okay, so before we get started with our drive, let me take you through a few things so you can better understand how the hybrid car works. So now by looking at the dashboard, if you might have noticed already, there is no rev counter. So that's just one thing to note. If you look on the left, you can see the passenger doesn't have the seatbelt on, but that's not really important because we're not driving it. So you'll see this charge and eco. So if you're driving and you're keeping the car between charge and eco, then it means that you are using the battery and you are not using any petrol. So the moment it goes above eco, then the petrol engine kicks in and you start using fuel. So see, I've been idling for a few minutes, so the petrol engine just kicked in. So if you just look on the side, you'll see that the engine is on to charge the battery. So it's probably picking up that I'm using the battery too much, so it needs to charge. So as you can see, you do not have to worry about charging it. The technology is really advanced, so you don't have to worry about that. When you're driving and you try to keep the needle between charge and eco, it's almost like you're in a Need for Speed game, but not to go the fastest, it's to try and go slow. So if you are someone who is very conscious about fuel consumption, and especially if you're driving in traffic, then it's really great. You can try your best to keep it between charge and eco. Okay, so at the moment you can see the eco sign is on, which means we're on eco mode. So if I press the drive mode button, and you'll see the eco went off, which means it's now on normal mode. If I press it again, it goes on power mode, and it gets a cool red color. This is obviously not the most fuel efficient mode. We'll talk about this as we're driving, and then you can see the difference, and maybe you can hear the power in the power mode. And I also mentioned about the car having a lane keep assist. So if you look at this button here in the steering wheel, you'll see it's a picture of a car and a lane. So if you press that button, then you'll see on the top left next to EV there's 2 lanes. Now that's actually, it means lane keep assist is on. Let me switch it off. So I press the button again, you'll see it went off. So I press it on, you'll see that it says LTA turned on, steering assist active. So what that does, I'll show you later in the video. Okay, so now we are currently driving the car, and to give you a perspective on how it actually feels, I would actually term it as an acquired taste, so to speak. It's because it's a hybrid car. When you're taking off, you don't actually get that kick. You do get used to it after a while, and I think a lot of people that do buy this car would be conscious of fuel efficiency. You would get the one group of people who buy the car purely for fuel efficiency, and the Toyota Corolla Cross also has a non-hybrid option. So those that if you want the feel of a normal car, and you're not too worried about fuel efficiency, not to say that car wouldn't be very fuel efficient. I haven't driven it before, so I can't comment on that, but I'm sure the fuel efficiency would be good, but definitely not as good as the hybrid. So this car is perfect for someone who is driving in traffic a lot. And with that being said, the Achilles heel of this car is the highway. So if you are on the open road, the fuel consumption would deteriorate, but because it is a hybrid, it wouldn't deteriorate that much, because depending on the ratio of how much you are on the open road versus traffic, and how often you are driving under 40 kilometers per hour. So currently I am driving at just under 50 kilometers per hour, and my needle is between charge and eco, so you can hear it's very silent. Well, actually with silent, I can't tell you can hear it silent, you just can't hear anything. So we're currently on battery mode, and it feels pretty good. It's fine. There's I mean, I have been driving it for a few days now, so I am quite used to it. The first time I drove it, it did feel a little bit on the slow side, but I was actually driving it on eco mode. Yeah, like all other cars, like the Kiger and the, like the Honda Fit and the Sportage, all other cars that do have drive modes, when you do put it on eco mode, you can definitely feel the lack of power. So speaking of the lack of power, let me just put it into sport mode now, and then just see if you can hear anything. So did you hear that? So if you are missing the kick and you want a bit of a push in the car, and you want to feel that kick when you press the accelerator down, put it on power mode and you definitely will get that. Speaking of power mode, the power figures in the car are 72 kilowatts of power, and it's got 142 Newton meters of torque. Since we have spoken about the hybrid Toyota Corolla Cross and the non-hybrid, based on what I have said about the hybrid car and speaking about the fuel efficiency, would you tend more towards buying a hybrid car or the non-hybrid? How important is fuel efficiency to you in a car? Would it influence your decision to buy a hybrid or not, given the fuel price currently? And then another popular question is, since hybrid cars are new to the South African market, the warranty on the battery itself is 8 years, so that at least does give comfort that, if something happens to the battery, you can actually get it replaced, or it's still under warranty for 8 years, which is a decent amount of time. The only drawback is that Toyota offers a 3-year, 100,000 kilometer warranty on the car. That is maybe a few years too short, but you can extend that when you purchase the car with Toyota. Okay, now looking at price, you've seen the features of the car. It is a hybrid. It's got a battery. It's got great technology. And when I heard about the Toyota Corolla Cross, heard about the features, I would have thought that the car would be at least over 500,000 for the top of the range. And this XR model, you can actually get it for under 450. It's at about 448,000, the XR model, top of the range. And then the one lower than this is the XS model, which you can get for 413,000. If you're wondering what the difference is, so there's a 35,000 Rand difference in price. If you can stretch your budget to an extra 35,000 Rand, then it might be a good option to go for the XR model, because it has quite a few extra features. It's got we mentioned the lane keep assist it has. It's got 18-inch wheels as opposed to 17-inch. It's also got fully leather interior, which comes standard on the XR model. It's got front and rear PDC. It's got radar guided cruise control. It's also got a fancier grille. Like earlier in the video, I did show you the front. The grille is a bit fancier than the XS, so you definitely won't be cross if you go for either of the options, the XR or the XS in the hybrid for the Toyota Corolla Cross. If you are in the market for purchasing a car, before watching this video, you probably have a list of certain things that are deal breakers, or certain features you are looking for in a car. And I'm quite sure that with all the features the Toyota Corolla Cross has, it would have crossed many of these off your list. Due to the size of the car, it is a compact SUV, and it's very easy to maneuver in traffic. It's very great for city driving, day-to-day driving. It's perfect. You can fit into parkings very well. And also for the long road, it's got radar guided cruise control. And another feature that the XR model has on top of the XS is blind spot monitoring. This really comes in handy, because there's lights on the side mirrors that beep orange when something's in your blind spot. So guys, that is the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it and learned something about hybrid vehicles and the Toyota Corolla Cross. If there's anything I did not address, or if you have any questions, please put them in the comments below. I do reply to all my comments. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.